In the last 5 months, I've invested 21,000 USD in mentors, and every single time I've been the best, if not one of the best case studies for that mentor. So I wanted to make this video right now to tell you exactly how I guarantee that when I invest in someone, I know I'm going to get the most out of my investment, because actually it is a very simple process to make sure you get the best results. So you're probably thinking about either investing in someone or you're currently working with a mentor, and this video is going to tell you exactly how you can get the most out of your investment. So the first thing that I would say, in order to make sure that you get the most out of the thousands of USD that you're probably investing into a mentor, is to be the teacher's pet. Mentors are human beings and they suffer from the exact same biases as human beings. And you can have the choice as to how you want to set the tone of your relationship. And I know some people who have joined mentorships with me or joined mentorships at the same time as me, and they have been very hard to work with. They are incredibly kind of like demanding of their mentor. And don't get me wrong, you should always want to get the most for your investment. And if there are things you've been promised that are subpar, of course that is something you should mention. But you should also remember, just like being in school, that the teacher's pet is the person that gets the most attention from the teacher and they get the most out of class. And while everyone hates the teacher's pet, you actually can make it massively to your advantage. So the first tip that I would say is be the teacher's pet. Be the person that is incredibly generous and incredibly nice to the mentor, is always thanking them, is always asking, thank you so much for this. This is amazing. I appreciate the value you're giving. Just being basically like a kiss up. And I know that seems like strange advice, but I can promise you that mentors, as I know I'm a mentor myself, we suffer from human bias. And it's easy to say, look, you treat everyone similarly, and I try as hard as I can. But the people that are the most enjoyable to interact with, the people who are asking you how your life is, the people who, actually get to know you on a human level, it's hard not to be subconsciously biased towards them. So if you do have a mentor, get to know them as a human being, get to know what makes them tick, get to know what they enjoy and what their life is like, because naturally they're gonna want to help people more that they really, really genuinely get on with. And again, it's a shame that the human body works like the human mind works like this, but at the same time, it is exactly how the human mind is. And getting to know someone like that is great. So be a teacher's pet, be that annoying kid from class, because at the end of the day, it's gonna mean that the mentor is more invested and interested in your success. The second way that I get the most out of my mentors is basically an intense amount of communication, because if we paint the opposite problem, and again, I've seen this through when I've worked with people myself, but also the people that work with me, is people invest in a mentorship and then they go radio silent and they stop messaging. It's like the investment was the progress itself, as opposed to actually what the investment means for the next 3 to 6 months of work. So the biggest thing that I make sure is I'm over communicating with my mentor. I make sure that I'm telling them about all my wins, and I make sure that I'm asking them every single question I have, because it's weird when I work with people, I'll jump on a call with them and they will tell me, oh yeah, I was stuck on this last week. And I was like, oh, any reason you didn't tell me? And they were like, oh no, I thought you were too busy or something like that. I'm like, you've invested in me as a mentor. I want to be very, very available and active and around to ask as many questions as possible. So be incredibly over communicate with your mentor, over ask them questions, over update them on things. Like, today I did this. I did this today. I had this one issue, because you're paying for a mentorship. And it's a strange phenomenon where people then go, okay, I'm actually just not going to ask my mentor any questions. So over communicating is great, because it gets loads of touch points between you and your mentor, and they're not going to be annoyed at the fact that you're over communicating with them, because at the end of the day, that is the reason you paid for them. And if they are someone that gets annoyed about that, then again, you've probably picked the wrong mentor. But all of the mentors that I work with, they love communication and they're very happy to help, because that's exactly why we're all in this, to help people or to get help from other people. So communicate heavily with your input. Okay, the third one is do the inputs, do the actual things that they say they do. Because I can tell you a really good example of one of my students who spoke about this, and we jumped on a call and he basically said, I'm booking no calls. And I was like, okay, that's not an issue. Let's have a conversation about why you're booking no calls. And then we actually got to the bottom of why he was booking no calls. I asked him very simply, how many bits of content did you post last week? And he said 3. And I've been very clear to the people that I work with that you need to be posting at least once a day to really, really guarantee the odds of you, or increase the odds of you getting success. And what that example is meant to show is you just need to do the inputs. A mentorship program, a mentor is set up and gives you a roadmap in order to achieve the outcome that you want, but you need to do the inputs that they've designed to get you to that output. And if you don't do the inputs, then not only is the mentor going to sit there and be like, well, I've built this whole system for someone to be successful and they are not doing it, but it also shows a lot about the person. And that, I would say, is so important to making sure that if a mentorship program is set up, why are you not watching the course? Why are you not filling out all the resources that they've given you? Because they're not just making them for fluff reasons. They are making them because they are the individual things that you need to do in order to get to where you wanted to get to when you invested in the program. So I can never understand people that invest in mentorships when they don't watch the full course. They don't do the inputs that the mentor has given them. And we, for example, in our program, we have, when someone jumps on a call with me, they then get the step-by-step notes from that call, and we then put that into their task tracker that we give them a Notion document, and they get their task to do. And I go in, and the people who are getting amazing results with me are the people that, they'll get a task in their task tracker saying, make a YouTube video on this topic. And tomorrow I'll look in that task tracker and it will say done. I'll say send 40 outbounds a day, and they will be doing 40 outbounds a day. And all of this is meant to say, if you invest in a mentor and they tell you to do something, do it. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous to conceptualize that someone wouldn't do it, but you'd be surprised the amount of mentorship programs I've been in with people. I was in a content one, and people were investing in content, learning content, and people didn't post for a month. It's like, why did you invest in the first place if you weren't going to actually do the thing? It's like investing in a PT and being like, I'll probably go to the gym in 2 months' time, or something like that. It's crazy. So do the inputs, do the things that the mentor tells you, and do the groundwork, because it's designed in order to do that. And then the last one is something that everyone misses out on, but it's a very hard one to kind of conceptualize, this one. But I've got it in my notes here to say, be positive and thank them, because again, it kind of links into this human bias, which is we want to work with people that we enjoy working with. And therefore, if someone is always complaining, if someone is always saying that they're stuck, if someone is, or maybe not stuck, but if someone is always frustrated, then it just makes the experience of working with someone less fun. And I make sure that all of my mentors look forward to jumping on calls with me. And I've got a call later, and with my mentor, and I know he's excited because he mentioned excited to chat. You want to get them to look forward to your calls because of the fact that it's then okay, well, I'm going to help them more. So again, it's kind of linked to that first teacher's pet point, but in general, just make sure you're incredibly positive. And again, don't accept things that are substandard. You can still mention that you have problems, but just be a fun person to interact with. And that has got me amazing results because of the fact that my mentors, they really are invested in my success. So that was the last one of that. That's how I get amazing testimonials, or there's amazing testimonials of me all over all of my mentors page, because I do those 4 things. Thanks for watching.